You're watching Solar Impulse TV, and this is the moment of truth. We're well into the flight, this historic flight from Nagoya, Japan to Hawaii. Andre Borschberg is the pilot, and he's been in the air for almost 14 hours now. To give you a quick recap of what happened, takeoff was at 18:03 UTC, that's GMT, yesterday, Sunday the 28th. And first of all, we had a maintenance flight to kick things off, as if things weren't complicated enough already. During the maintenance flight, the decision was made to continue to Hawaii rather than turn back to Nagoya. And the management of Solar Impulse, that's the pilots Andre Borschberg, also the CEO, and Bertrand Piccard, who's with us at the Monaco Mission Control Center, also the president and the initiator of the project, they took the decision to carry on to Hawaii. Now, just a reminder, there is no plan B. This is a groundbreaking flight. It's never been done before. And if and when Andre Borschberg makes it to Hawaii, he may well break the record for the longest ever solar flight in aviation. Still a long way to go, though. We're just 14 hours in, more or less, on what will be a flight of around about 120 hours. Now, the reason we're speaking to you now is not just because we wanted to give you a recap. It's also because we are into what's called energy neutral evening. Now, there are two critical moments throughout every 12-hour period. It's energy neutral morning and energy neutral evening. So let's take a quick look at the graph. We have a simulation tool called Plateau, and we can look now at the Plateau simulation for Sol Day 1. That's the 5-day simulation. Let's take a look now at the 1-day simulation if we can. It's coming in a second. No, we don't have that right now. Well, let's just go back to the 5-day simulation now, because I think we can still see on that one. It's a little bit more detailed. That takes you through the situation from the first day. We call it Sol Day. Now, Sol Day is the days of the plane. Now, obviously, there's a big time difference between Monaco and Nagoya in Japan. So we take it from the morning in Japan, and we alternate as we go through. Obviously, we're changing time zones as we're going across the Pacific, and we'll have lots of fun and games when we get to the international date line. When we go from being plus UTC to minus UTC, we'll lose a day. We'll worry about that when we get to it. We'll just stick with UTC for now, and that should keep it easier. I'm joined now by Eleonora Grava, one of our simulation team members, a mathematician, one of the very clever people who look into the future and work out what's going to be happening with Solar Impulse and making sure that we have enough energy to keep us in the air. Hello, Eleonora.
Hello.
And thank you very much, because I know you've come to the end of your shift. I know you want to get and have breakfast and get some sleep. But what I'd like you to do is just explain in a bit more detail what energy neutral evening means.
The energy neutral evenings is the moment when we don't collect any more energy from the sun. From the sun. That means that we start to use the chemical energy. That means the energy collected in the battery. This moment depends on the cloudiness situation, and it allows to start to descend. After the energy neutral evening, we start to descend up to the minimum flight level for the night. In this case, for example, we descend from flight level 280 to flight level...
So that's around 28,000 feet?
28,000 feet, yeah, up to 8,000 feet. That is the minimum flight level allowed for this night, because we have low-level clouds. So to avoid turbulences and all the problems related to the weather, we have to keep this flight level.
Okay, well, let's go back to the Plateau graph again, if we can get that on the screen, and so that people can follow that with us. Okay, so looking at the bottom, now we have this red line, this big thick red mark. Now that is the clouds you were talking about, yeah. And that's why if we look at the blue, there we go, that's the perfect one we can see now. This is the Sol Day 1, this is the day we're in now, or it was a simulation of what the day is now. So as you can see, when he's at the lowest flight level, that's the blue line, he's above the red, and the red is the clouds, is that right?
Yes.
And why does he need to stay above the clouds?
We have to stay above the clouds, because otherwise we encounter turbulences, and we have problems due to the presence of the weather in the clouds. With the water in clouds, we have water.
And presumably it means that the pilot can't sleep?
No, he can sleep.
But depending on how much turbulence there is.
If he flies inside the clouds, yeah, he cannot sleep. So we have to stay at least 1,000 feet above the clouds, better is 2,000 feet above the clouds, and that this is the situation. We have these clouds up to 6,000 feet, so we are flying at 8,000 feet. In this way, he could sleep and take his rest and do all the stuff that he has to do during the day or the night when he doesn't have the oxygen.
And presumably the higher he rests at night time, the more energy he's using. You have to add that into your calculation.
In the energy of the pilot?
The energy of the plane. So the higher the plane flies, the less dense the air is, and the more energy is used.
Yeah, more energy is used. As a matter of fact, the best should be to fly at flight level 3,000 feet. But it's possible to manage it decreasing the velocity of the aircraft, and also with, for example, the U-turn implemented in the morning, turning the aircraft in order to gain more energy, considering the azimuth of the sun.
Okay, so hugely complicated. You're looking at how much cloud cover there is, you're looking at the flight level that he's flying at, the altitude, looking at the speed he's going at, and all these go into deciding whether or not the plane can fly through the day and the night, because a reminder, this is the only plane that can fly day and night using solar energy. And as you can see, Eleonora and her team have a very difficult job to do. Just to get back to energy neutral evening again, so why this is a critical point in the day is because this is the point at which the sun is no longer powering the plane, and the plane is using potential energy, which is the altitude that it's descending from, and also the batteries. And it's also critical because you have to be pretty sure that when the sun goes down, the sun is not powering the plane anymore, that there'll be enough batteries to get him through to daybreak.
Yeah, and also because if we have some cloudiness, the energy neutral evening is earlier. That means that we start to descend earlier, and that means that we have a long night flight, so we lose more energy.
So the timing is absolutely critical.
Yep.
And as you said, the cloud has not been as thick as you had been expecting, so you're quite happy with the way things are going for this current energy neutral evening.
Yeah, for the moment we have no clouds during Sol 1, so it's good. We have a good solution for Sol 1 and also for the other days.
Okay, so you're looking very calm, and that presumably means you're happy for this coming night for André Borschberg, that he'll make it through until the sunrise tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look now at the current flight path. We have another map that we can show you, taking us from Nagoya in Japan to Hawaii. Let's take a look at that now. It's coming up in just a second. And this, what we'll show you now, you'll see Nagoya, you'll see Hawaii, and also you'll see lots of colours, and you'll briefly, I hope, explain to us, Eleonora, what the different colours mean. And let's see if we can bring that up in just a second. That's the map from Nagoya to Hawaii, which we can't see just yet. Let's just give it a couple of seconds until we find that one. And so what it means, we'll see it in a second, Eleonora, the map. The different colours refer to the different times of the day.
The different time of the day and the different altitude.
Okay.
We have the blue segment, that means that we are flying at low altitude, that corresponds to the night. And this color changes up to the red color, that is the maximum altitude. That is the day around the, as we can see.
There we go.
Around the energy neutral evening. The more is red, the more we are high.
Right, and as you can see from this map, that is not a direct route. We weren't able to fly directly. We have to have quite a complicated way of going. Look, we're going south. We have to go across, this is called the southern route, south of Japan. Then we're heading north. And one of the reasons is that we're avoiding cloud as well. We're speeding up and slowing down to avoid cloud patterns as well. There's one more thing we want to show you. We have a really fantastic animation from our partner Altron. All the simulation team work for our partner Altron, including Eleonora. And they've put together this fantastic simulation which gives you an idea of just how complicated this flight is. And you can see the plane speeding up and slowing down. Now, the little green dot there on the left of the screen is the plane. There you go. And you can see it's just skimming that cloud system there, slowing down a bit to wait for the weather to improve. Then off again. There we go. Moving to the northeast with cloud coming up behind it. And you're crossing over a front there. And you can see there's a front moving in from the east Will it make it? Will it make it? And then it all clears up. Hold on, they're back again. And let's wait for those clouds to dissipate again. And down to Hawaii. There you go. If only it were that simple. Well, that's the simulation, and that's what we hope is going to be happening for André Borschberg in Solar Impulse between now and the 5th day of the flight. As we said, around about 120 hours. Thanks very much for the reassurance, Eleonora Grava from our flight simulation team and our partner Altron as well. Altron, which of course has been involved in the plane, in the air and on the ground. And we'll be back with you again at 12 UTC. Why? Because 12 and 0 UTC, that's midnight and midday, these are the times when the teams have their handover briefing, and you had your one at 2 o'clock this morning, so I think it's time for you to go to bed now. And we'll be back for that, and we'll be able to give you a recap of all the main points that have taken place over the previous 12 hours, and also looking ahead to what we can expect for the 12 hours to come. After that, at 20:30 UTC, we will have the big show of the day. This is Energy Neutral Morning. And this is that moment, that incredible moment after the sun has come up, around about an hour after sunrise, when we know that the sun, what we call efficient sun, is powering the plane 100% and also recharging those batteries, getting them up to 100% again, so we can continue the cycle and fly day and night without a drop of fuel. Thanks for watching Solar Impulse TV. Don't forget you can stick with us on solarimpulse.com 24/7. We'll have regular updates on social media, and you can look at exactly what's happening on the plane. Just click on the cockpit icon and you can see everything: the battery state of charge, the altitude, all the other elements that are key to keeping this plane in the air. So again, we'll see you again here on Solar Impulse TV at 12 UTC.